Barbie, the movie, has made a huge record with the biggest opening of the year. But the most important question is, and there's been a lot of controversy over this, has she now emerged as a feminist icon? The movie opened to $155 million and it's a journey, it's a story of a girl from dollhood to adulthood. She tells the story of women who struggle as she grows from the eyes of a doll to a human being. Barbie was introduced as an affordable doll and has soon captured attention worldwide. In fact, for childhood and for girls, it became a status symbol to own a Barbie. The movie has now evoked very strong response and has triggered debates on the entire issue of women empowerment. Joining me now, Mayank Shekhar, film critic. Mayank, whether it's abroad, whether it's back home over here in India, I haven't seen the movie. I'm presuming you've seen the movie. But even if you haven't seen the movie, are you interested and intrigued with a kind of a cult which is now emerging and is now everyone is talking about women empowerment, how women need to stand up for themselves?
Well, of course, I have seen the film. I wouldn't be here on this broadcast otherwise. Quite clearly, this is a film that's captured the imagination. I have a faint suspicion it really happened on its own rather than a marketing genius, because you cannot create this level of hoopla over a movie where I watched the film in a hall full of females, everyone dressed in pink, I'm presuming for Instagram. And then there was the other thing that happened, which was, Barbenheimer, where, which movie will you watch first, Barbie, or just polar opposite as a movie in terms of genre, which is Oppenheimer. In terms of what the film turned out to be, yes, it's not a children's film. And I was under the assumption that it would be, given that Barbie itself is a children's product. But if you see the history of Barbie, if you notice the product's history over the past few decades, its sales have been on a considerable decline, progressive decline year after year. And that's to do with the reputation that Barbie sort of represented in a certain way, a certain beauty standard that everyone must adhere to, and it's being pushed into child's brains at a very young age, and something that inspires you. Of course, they did lots of things to sort of do away with that rep. Barbie has multiple professions. Barbie is not just a doll-like figure, and they sort of look into these aspects in the movie as well. But the messaging is so strong that it's almost an adult film with feminism as its main purpose, and that's not a surprise, because one, Barbie needs to clean up its act and build a new way of being looked at. Second, I think Barbie stopped being a product. It was a conscious choice that the Mattel CEO, who was brought in from a world of entertainment, who took over this company, said, you know what, let's not focus on the doll. Now let's focus on Barbie as the idea and Barbie as an intellectual property, Barbie as an IP. So they've really gone full throttle in terms of film, but they've also made sure that the rebranding of Barbie is also complete to the story that Greta Gerwig, a feminist filmmaker, much loved actor, who turned into a director. I think that's why she was brought on board as well.
I find it really ironical, and it's very interesting also because while many see this movie as a marketing coup of sorts, but I never had a Barbie doll. But the point is that it was felt that it was very cliched. It was, some would call it sexist and some would call it cliche, that why is it that you need to own a Barbie doll? And Barbie epitomized this whole concept of boys in blue and girls in pink and so on and so forth. But today, look at it. Today, the movie is actually being seen as a woman empowerment issue. Do you find an irony over there?
Well, there is irony, of course, but the irony is deliberate. There is a strong case being made for the relevance of someone like Barbie in the world of 2023, as against when it came out, many, many decades ago. And that was a different world, and there was a different worldview at the time. So in that sense, yes, ironic, but at the same time, you can tell where they're coming from. They're taking Barbie into the real world, all right? And in the real world, while Barbie is, a progressive figure in her head, in the Barbie world, because, she has multiple professions and there are these other Barbies that she deals with, she realized in the real world hasn't changed so much. Whereas Ken, who's the boyfriend, discovers the pleasures of patriarchy. Suddenly he's a very important figure, which is not in the Barbie world. So I think they found a great way to crack a story that you could be sort of drawn towards in that sense. And I thought it was an interesting thought, interesting idea on the bit about it being a long show reel of the product or an extended ad. That was a fear, wasn't it? I mean, it's not the first time that a product has been at the center of a particular movie. I mean, we saw it recently with with the film on Nike that came on Prime Video, and it's also not the first time that a product has become a movie. You take the example of Transformers, right? That entire franchise is built on a toy called Transformers. It was first started in Japan.
Correct.
I think the beauty of this one is that they don't good not it's not too obvious, it's not too shameless, so it doesn't feel like just an ad. It feels far more, and it feels like a filmmaker making her point, and having also perhaps grown up on Barbie, and yeah, just sort of captivating you with an idea first.
Well, Mike, you at least convinced me to go and watch the movie, but thank you so much for joining us. Well, that's it for me from now, but before I go, the craze about the movie Barbie. Let's take a look at that.
Shoppers are snapping up a whole host of Barbie-related items as retailers seek to cash in on Friday's film release. Barbie dresses, perfume, jumpsuits and accessories are flying off the shelves, and many of the vast range of products are aimed at adults. That as retailers bet on igniting nostalgia in those who played with the doll as children.
So cool.
Mattel, who owns the brand, aims for the film to renew the doll's nostalgic appeal, while also embedding Barbie into the psyche of a new generation. Zara's Barbie collection, launched on Monday, offers 85 items for adult women and 17 for children. Men, too, can buy into the trend with a fuchsia suit or cowboy boots and denim shirt. By Wednesday, on its UK site, the perfume, hoop earrings and pink-cropped hoodie were all sold out, as was the fuchsia double-breasted suit blazer for men. Apparel and footwear brands from H&M to Primark, Gap, Superga and Crocs have also launched Barbie collections. The Barbie Crocs, priced $10 more than the normal pairs at almost $60, were also out of stock. And luggage brand Base has a waiting list for all 3 sizes of suitcases in a Barbie pink, priced at a premium. It's not just retailers. Hyatt Hotels and Hilton are offering Barbie-themed hotel suites in cities such as Kuala Lumpur. Now, analysts say the sheer amount of merchandise raises a danger of the brand overstretching. But Mattel and partners hope a renewed emphasis on diversity and inclusivity from the Barbie franchise will provide enough novelty to keep people interested.